This story broke less than 48 hours ago. And the details that are emerging around Joni Lamb's death, her family torn apart before she even drew her last breath, and a succession battle that is already threatening to destroy everything she spent her entire life building, are so shocking and so raw that the Christian broadcasting world is still struggling to process what happened. Because this is not just a story about a woman who died. This is a story about everything she left behind. And the people fighting over it before she was even laid to rest. Joni Lamb passed away on May 7, 2026, just 3 days ago, at her home in Bedford, Texas. She was 65 years old. She had been quietly battling serious undisclosed health issues for some time, and when a recent back injury suddenly and dramatically worsened her condition, there was no time to prepare. The Daystar Television Network, the Christian broadcasting empire she co-founded with her late husband Marcus Lamb in 1993 and built into one of the largest faith-based television networks in the entire world, released a statement saying simply that Joni had graduated to heaven. That she was reunited with Marcus. That her love for the Lord had shaped the ministry from the very beginning. It was warm. It was gracious. And behind it, something was already on fire. Because here is what the official statement did not tell you. Joni Lamb's daughter-in-law Susie, wife of her son Jonathan, came forward almost immediately after the death announcement and made a claim so devastating that it sent shockwaves through the entire ministry. She alleged publicly that she and Jonathan were not informed in time to say goodbye. That they did not get to be with Joni in her final moments. That a family was divided at the very instant it should have been united, and that the estrangement between Joni and her own son had become so complete, so total, and so deliberately maintained that he missed the chance to hold his mother's hand before she left this world. Let that sit for a moment. A son who did not get to say goodbye to his mother. Not because he did not want to, but because the fracture in that family had grown too wide to cross in time. And now there is the $40 million. Properties across the United States. Long-standing stakes in the Daystar Empire. An estate so enormous and so complicated that legal and family battles over its distribution could take years to resolve. Joni had, to her credit, established a formal continuity plan with the Daystar board before her death, ensuring the network would survive her passing. An executive leadership team is already in place. The broadcasting empire will not crumble. But the family? That is an entirely different question. The backstory that makes all of this even more heartbreaking begins in 2021, when Marcus Lamb, Joni's husband and co-founder of Daystar, died from COVID-19 complications. He was 64 years old. But before he died, in one of the most extraordinary public confessions in the history of Christian broadcasting, Marcus admitted on air that he had been unfaithful to Joni. He said he was being blackmailed and extorted over the affair and chose to get ahead of it publicly rather than let it destroy the ministry quietly. Joni sat beside him. She forgave him publicly. She held the network together through something that would have ended most marriages and most ministries. She was still holding it together when the back injury came and took her before anyone was ready. Joni Lamb built something extraordinary from nothing, a woman of deep faith, fierce determination, and a broadcasting vision that reached millions of people around the world. She deserved a peaceful ending. She deserved to be surrounded by everyone who loved her. And the fact that her final days were shadowed by family estrangement, that her $40 million fortune is now the subject of a battle that has already begun, and that a son did not get to say goodbye, is a grief that no amount of money, no succession plan, and no official statement can fix. Rest in peace, Joni Lamb. The world you built is still standing. The family you loved is still hurting. And the story of what you left behind is only just beginning.